start with Bailey Fritsch. How's he doing after the surgery yesterday?
Yeah, look, he's obviously had that surgery yesterday, so it's disappointing for Bailey to be out for an extended period of time. He's a really important player for us. We know what he gives our team, and from a forward half perspective and an ability to hit the scoreboard. So he's going to be a big loss, and it's going to be something that we're going to have to fill internally and get to work and find what the best mix is for the centre. So clearly that's been a talking point for a lot of people throughout the week, and it's one that we're going to leave no stone unturned in what our best mix is looking forward.
Are you hoping it'd be available around finals time? Is that the timeline at this stage?
Yeah, look, we're really hopeful that it'll be available, at that point. There's a slight chance it might be a touch earlier, but, at that point we're looking to make sure we're getting back to full fitness and ready to go. But knowing Bailey's diligence to what he does from a rehab and preparation perspective, we're really confident that he'll be available at that point.
Given Bailey obviously out, Van der Roon's form in the VFL must have been pleasing for you at the weekend, Spawn?
Yeah, look, we sent him back with some clear things that we wanted him to work on, and he's started to implement them throughout his training and throughout his performance. So that was really pleasing, and it wasn't only him, it was a number of guys. It was a pretty dominant display from our VFL team, to win by nearly 100 points. There was lots of goal kickers, so that gives us options. He's a good kid, he's gone back and he's going to work on some things, and when he comes back in, he's going to come back in a better player.
Would you ideally give him more time in the VFL? Whereas, I know you haven't said that he's the guy to come in, but I would assume he's the man most likely. Would you ideally give a young player a bit more time in the VFL to work on those things than have to bring him back because of injury? Yeah,
look, he's still 19. He's still learning his craft. He's still learning his ability his forward craft to play at AFL standard, confidently every week. In his first 12 games, he's kicked 17 goals. I'm sure in his next 12, he's going to have even a bigger impact, not only on the scoreboard, but how he plays the game. And we're really confident that if we keep developing in the right way, that in the long term, we're going to have an absolute beauty of a player for us. And that's our plan with him, is develop him the right way and make sure that he's ready to play some really elite level AFL footy throughout his whole career.
You touched on some of the commentary around the forward line before. What have you made of that in the last couple of weeks?
Oh, look, it's pretty obvious. We've had 5 weeks where we've kicked no more than 8 goals. So we don't live under a rock and think it's not an issue. Clearly, we want to be a team that scores more on the back of some of the unbelievable work we're doing with defensively and in our contest work. But, we've played in some challenging conditions. We've played some really good teams. And we're going to continue to work on it. And what I do know in footy is you've got to roll your sleeves up and get to work. And we've been getting to work for a number of weeks now in this space. And, at some stage, it's going to turn. And we're going to start to get bang for buck on the back of our contest and defence. And the scoreboard will start ticking over. If we really stick to our process and we're confident in what we're coaching and teaching, the results will start to take care of themselves. And I'm really confident with the players that we've got, their investment they're giving, the commitment to it that they're giving, that'll turn, and it's only a matter of time.
Knowing that the accuracy is such a big piece of the puzzle, because everything else seems to be going pretty well for you, is it at least nice to know that it's probably one thing and you can pinpoint the one thing that really needs fixing to be able to get on a roll?
Yeah, look, goal kicking is an element that sits within that. There's no doubt there's some elements of our offence that we think we can help to generate better quality entries to help with that inaccuracy as well. But, we're a club that has a really big program in that space. For the first 10 weeks of the season, we were 16% the best goal kicking team in the history of the game. We're having a rough patch in really tough conditions, but we're working incredibly hard on it. And we've got a guy that puts an enormous amount of time into the program that he delivers. And as I said, if we continue to roll our sleeves up, get to work, keep investing in it, that'll start to turn. And when it turns, it's going to come in a big way.
Simon, when you say you're putting a lot of hard work into it, what does that look like on the training track? Are there more minutes dedicated into goal kicking this week? Can you talk us through that side of things?
We've given more minutes to goal kicking than ever before in the history of our footy club. So it's a continuation of that, continuation of our program, continuation of the process that we sit within it. and the confidence that I've got in the people running that program and the players' investment into it. And as I said, if we keep doing it and we keep investing into it and we keep coaching it, the results will turn.
Clayton Oliver mentioned in that media release yesterday, like, how realistic a chance is there to play this weekend?
Yeah, Clayton. It's obviously been pretty topical, Clas, but look, I can be as honest as I can be. He's got one session to get through in terms of ticking off a marker today. So she's a fingers crossed moment, and we're really hopeful that he gets through this today, and he'll be available, and he'll put the Melbourne jumper on Saturday night. So he's got one really important session to get through today, and we're really hopeful that he's put in an enormous block of work in terms of his ability to get his running right up to the level as well. So, this is the final thing he's got to tick off today.
Just on your forward mix for this week, Simon, are you leaning taller or smaller to replace Bailey?
It's not something I'm going to tell you now.
Simon, the Saints at Marvel Stadium this weekend. Note that it's oddly your first game at Marvel for the season. Can you talk us through how do you go about beating the Saints? They'll obviously be pretty disappointed with their output on Sunday despite the result.
Yeah, look, they sit in the position they do because they give great effort. They're a great defensive team. There's no question about that. They restrict opposition scoring as well as anyone. So we've got our work cut out again this week, and they're a high pressure team. They're a great defensive team, and it's an area of our game we've got to get right. We've got to defend the right way ourselves and then give ourselves good opportunity and hit the scoreboard. So, everyone says that they're not in great form, but they play the game the right way, and they give themselves a chance in games, and that's why they sit where they sit on the ladder.
Simon, the top two is probably the ship sailed for all bar two clubs. Is ladder positions you even bother looking at, or is it just we just got to keep winning and that's all we're worried about? Because there is a logjam from 3 to 14, or especially from 4 to 14, where you sit fourth at the moment, or is it you don't really even look at the ladder where we are at the moment?
You can't look at the ladder. There's 8 weeks to go, and we've got to focus on our process of getting it right. We've been the best contest and defence team the last 6 weeks, and we're giving ourselves great opportunity to hit the scoreboard. If we pull that together and that process together, we focus on our training, we focus on our ability to get better every day, the ladder position and the results take care of themselves. And I'm really confident if we focus on that as a footy club, that's what will happen. If we get caught up in, there's a game between 3rd and 12th or whatever it is, you won't go anywhere. You'll probably miss the 8. So we've got to focus on the right things as a footy club and get them right.
Last couple. Thanks, guys.
Simon, somewhat tongue-in-cheek, but we often hear about how players are limited to do goal kicking because of the sports science guys. Have you had a chat with sports science guys this week and said, sorry, they're kicking as much as we need?
If you can look outside right now, and this is prior to training, we've got 30 blokes out there having shots at goal, running around poles. Choco's driving in a really big program for us, and our high performance team are very supportive of how much goal kicking we do.
Choco must be rubbing his hands together. He'd be loving this.
Oh, he loves it. He loves footy. He's passionate about it. He's very good at it, and that's why we're very confident we'll get the results.